Hello, hello. We have had a ton of news over the past week or so. Really, probably the most we've had in a 10-day span in quite some time, if not, in memory, at least in terms of UVS games and the current team. So, yeah, we're kind of breaking my layout. I had to zoom a lot to get all these bullet points onto the screen, so let's just get into it. First and foremost, Attack on Titan. They have announced that they have the Attack on Titan manga license. That is through Kodansha, I believe is the name of the manga publisher. So this is an interesting way that... weird that this didn't really occur to anybody, but they can go and get licenses to manga as opposed to licenses to anime if the anime license is taken up, but the manga license is not. And it's something like Attack on Titan, where everyone knows what it is. They can license to the manga. They can make their own art, so they don't need necessarily anime screenshots. Although I assume we'll see, what we've seen in My Hero is some art that is sort of just like an extended version of a shot from the anime, right? So we'll probably see a lot of that, but yeah, Attack on Titan is coming. It sounds like it's going to be, there's at least going to be a booster set for it. We'll see if there's a challenger deck or anything like that, or if there's probably going to be at least a couple booster sets because it's a big enough license to do that. I don't know if it's going to be MHA sized, just given the subject matter, but yeah, I'm not personally an Attack on Titan person. Never watched it. Don't think I even will, even with this. Just not my cup of tea, pretty much, but I'll probably read a plot synopsis or something like that, because it sounds like a pretty interesting story. So yeah, aside from that, we have gotten the long-awaited, what people were sort of hoping for, is that UVS Games would hold some webcam events between now and the HLC, and they are going to do that. On the first weekends of December and January, they're going to have officially sponsored webcam tournaments. These are going to be full weekend tournaments, just like the old webcam provisionals. And, again, like the old webcam provisionals, you're getting some exclusive promos out of them, and those were always pretty popular, back last year, so it's good to see they're running that back. You'll get one each promo for entering, and these are the missing arts from the run of Nationals promos with the sort of like Chinese New Year look. It's going to be Proud Scion, it's going to be a giant ice wall, and Cool and Tough with Jiro on it. So, pretty good cards, not like meta staple cards, but pretty good ones. They look nice. Two of them are not going to rotate in the spring, so we're not getting the oh, it's just a bunch of set one card things like we did for most of the Nats promos, so that's pretty good. The registration is going to go up on November 10th. That is Friday. That is tomorrow. That is Veterans Day is being observed in a lot of places in any event. They're capping it at 256 players. This cap might get reached with the way these things tend to go, so be aware the registration is supposed to go up at, it says 5 p.m. Pacific, that's 8 p.m. Eastern. You might be at your pre-release when this goes live, so if you're really excited about playing in these events, make sure you're on top of that. The first one is going to be, I forget which order they're in, but one of them is going to be at 11 a.m. Eastern, one of them is going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific, so it's going to be a little bit of time zone flexibility for the Eastern players. The Pacific time one's going to run kind of late but be doable. For the West Coast players, the Eastern time one's going to be really early but relatively doable. 8 a.m.'s a bit of an ask for some people, but I think out there they tend to get up a little bit earlier because of all this East Coast time stuff anyway. The prize distribution, you're going to get one of each promo for entering, as I said, and they're going to, instead of doing set numbers, they're just going to do percentage splits. Top 50% gets a second copy of each promo. Top 25% gets a second and a third. Once you reach, I believe, top 8, you get to fill out your playsets, and you get more copies of promos and more product and so on and so forth. The top 4 is going to get a $250 travel gift card sort of thing, and the winner's going to get a $500 one. So pretty good amount of cash prize on the line as well. They say that you can use this to travel to events. That's sort of the intended purpose, is to help people travel to either the HLC or elsewhere, but there probably won't be any riders on this thing forcing you to spend it on travel. Maybe there will be. I don't know what's possible in the world of prepaid credit cards or any of that, but in any event, pretty good pricing all things considered. Should be well populated. I don't get to make the first one because I made previous arrangements. Kind of wish this had come out a little bit sooner, but it's good that they're doing it. It should be a good time. It's a good way to get a look at the Jetburn meta, right? Which we won't have a large-scale look at otherwise between now and the HLC. Speaking of the HLC, we got a lot of details about that. You know, what side events are going to be, things like that. The LCQ is going to start Friday at 9 a.m. It's going to be Swiss only. The top X are going to qualify. This seems like it's arranged so that, you know, the LCQ wraps up in time for the suddenly new invitees to join them for the invitee and staff dinner kind of deal, and have time to sort of reset themselves and get ready for Saturday. For everyone that doesn't qualify, there's going to be special side events for Standard, Challenger Standard, where you have to play one of the 4 new Challenger characters from the Bebop and Trigun Challenger decks. There's going to be a Retro side event and a Teams side event. We'll see if they run teams with a level of respect we haven't seen yet, but hopefully they do. Maybe this time, Copium. They have a Universus deck box they're giving out as prizes for a lot of these. There's going to be some MHA sleeves. They're going to have giant cards again. Jetburn product, of course, which is going to be kind of old at that point, but you know, if it's like Undaunted Raiden, it's probably still holds value after a few months, so you can, you know, at least sort of open for value, that sort of thing, assuming you have all the cards if you're going to this thing. They're also going to have on-demand events of, you know, every format you can think of, including on-demand triple threat, and the winner of each 3-person pod is going to get a deck box, and if you really farm these things out and you get the most triple threat wins, you will get a belt, like a wrestling-style belt. There's been... I'm not thinking about just trying to go for that thing. If you don't know the backstory, I won... The 2 worlds that I won came in a time period where they were giving out wrestling-style world championships belts, so I have 2 of those. And there's people that have a couple belts from like teams and things like that, but I have 2 of the big ones, and I don't know what this belt's gonna. I might be on the fly. I see what this belt looks like and decide if I want it or not. But probably realistically, I'm gonna be excited to play with the new Challenger cards and the new Standard format. But we'll see. I'm thinking about it anyway. On to the main event for the 32 who qualify. It is going to be a double elimination bracket this time. So it's going to run on through the Saturday. They're going to get through as much as they can, and they'll get through the rest on Sunday. Certainly better than a single elimination bracket, for sure. The seeding is going to be randomized instead of trying to do this Swiss rounds for seeding thing that was still ended up being a little random anyway, especially with people trying to use different decks. The prizing is, as expected, not going to involve cash. It's going to involve a lot of alternate art promos, that sort of thing. So there's not only going to be a run of alt art character promos, there's also going to be special versions of the chromes for the top 16 that mark their placement. So the 5 chromes from Jetburn are going to have, you know, a top 8 one, a top 4 one, a finalist one, that sort of thing. And also the winner is going to get to design a card. They have not specified exactly, it's probably going to have your likeness. I think that was said, or at least heavily implied, but they haven't specified that's going to be a character. They don't. I tried asking about that, and they basically said they don't know yet in not as many words. So there may be some stuff they're still working out there, but in any event, they're trying to bring back the old greatest prize in gaming. Whether or not they can do it all the way or not, we'll see. But it's still pretty cool nonetheless. And then, yeah, we've had a bunch of other news that, you know, with all this other stuff may have gone under the radar a little bit. They previewed all the Plus Ultra cards last night. I'm recording this on Thursday morning. So we have everything that's going to be legal in the Jetburn meta now. We're not missing any cards. We can start deck building. We don't have to be like, oh, well, we're waiting to see if XYZ shows up. So that's all out there aside from, you know, any potential provisional stuff that shows up, but that'll have delayed legality, presumably. They also issued a printing error statement where it's just an article listing all the random little misprints and stuff that happen in Jetburn. Most of them don't matter, but there is a card, More Power, that is missing its block. It is a +2 mid block if you encounter that card in your pre-release. More Power, the Hood Foundation, I believe it's a 3 to 5 check. It is a +2 mid block. Let's just keep that in mind. The rest of them is just like, oh, this reminder text was missing, or things like that. But that one, kind of a big miss, right? They did their monthly ban announcement. They did not ban anything. There was a lot of expectation that they might hit capture evildoers just because of, it gets stronger and stronger as the format gets bigger and bigger, and they make more and more ways to get very easy momentum in particular. But they've chosen they're not going to touch anything at this time. We'll see if that changes. People are starting to get the impression they're basically not going to ban anything unless it's really, really, blowing, 2/3 of top cuts kind of level, the Kirishima 2 level representation, that sort of thing. So probably don't expect much from these ban announcements going forward, but they did, post another one, kind of the same stuff they've said the last 3 or 4 times. So I'll link it in the description anyway, if you want to read it. This is kind of cool, and this is coming up next week, I believe. They're doing a collab with Kung Fu Tea. That is a boba tea chain. It has a lot of locations nationally. I found out there's one like 10 minutes away from me, and that's kind of cool. And this is gonna, but you don't need to be able to go to a physical location necessarily. This is gonna be on their Instagram account, so keep an eye on that next week. There's gonna be some, probably comment on this or repost it or whatever. I'm not familiar with Instagram, but from some pool of people that enter this contest, some of them are going to get Jetburn products, some of them are going to get $100 boba tea gift card, stuff like that. Free contest, cool collab. Make Kung Fu Tea feel good about partnering with this company. If you have an Instagram account, you can get over there and participate in this. They might put you on their email list, but you don't subscribe to those things, it's fine. And also on their Black Friday sale, they're doing 50% off all their merch. If you want some of their merch for whatever reason, it is not all, I looked at the store, it's not all just like KFT branded stuff. Some of it's just, has sort of art patterns on it and things like that. So you might want a mug or something from them. But anyone who gets anything from their Black Friday sale is going to get a couple free Jetburn packs, which is more of a marketing to random people that don't play this game than to people who do. But hey, if you're interested in that sort of thing anyway, I believe they have some like make your own tea bundles, those sorts of stuff. Maybe something like that is a good Christmas gift that you might be thinking of getting somebody. So you check in on that. And last but not least, it took so long for UVS Games to announce these webcam events that I talked about last time. There's community members trying to spin up their own. I haven't heard from King's Court Gaming about what they're doing with their event, which has now been displaced. It was going to be on January 6th, and now that is a UVS Games official webcam event weekend, so I cannot imagine that King's Court is still going to hold theirs on January 6th. They'll probably get moved a couple weeks or something, but haven't seen anything from them on that yet. In the meantime, Tam Cardwell and David Toombs are going to be running an event. This is going to be on December 16th, one-day event. They're going to just do 6 rounds of Swiss and cut top 8, kind of no matter the attendance. And it is going to be a cash prize pool, $12 entry, $10 goes into the pool. The pool is going to get divvied out among top 8. There's going to be various pack prizes. David looks like he's commissioned a custom airy Christmas mat, which is pretty cool, that you can win. And, Tam and David are going to commentate it, right? They're going to cast it. It'll be a thing. Hopefully that gets good attendance. If you're in to do these UVS Games webcam events, then certainly consider doing this one as well. Yeah, they don't have the exclusive promos, but the pricing still looks pretty good. Let's definitely check that out. That one I do presently intend to play in, because it might be the only one of these webcam events that I get to make. Yeah, hopefully you'll see a bunch of people there. And that'll wrap it up for sort of shotgunning through all of this news. So that's to cover. We are not waiting on too much now, which is nice to say. We're definitely waiting on the 2024 organized play plans, which they keep saying is coming soon TM. It has been in soon TM state for about 6 weeks now or something like that, but soon TM we'll get the full layout of 2024 organized play. And aside from that, pre-release weekend. Have fun with all of your Jetburn pre-releases. If you are not sure where to find one near you, I've been linking the pre-release list in the descriptions for a little while now. Go check that out if you haven't already, see what's up near you. And I'll be continuing to post some, Jetburn. I still have to do the box opening and a couple things like that, so we'll be putting those out here pretty soon too. All right, take care. Have a good weekend.